$135,600. That's the median net worth of Americans aged 35 to 44. Meet Diana, 34 years old, $58,000 a year, pays every bill on time, owns a 401k. By every visible measure, Diana is doing fine. Better than fine, she looks successful. But Diana has been financially frozen in the same spot for 11 years, and she can't feel it. Because money doesn't grow in a straight line, it moves through 5 distinct stages. Every American passes through the same 5 stages: rich or broke, doctor or driver. Same map. Stage 1 is survival. Stage 2 is stability. Stage 3 is comfort. Stage 4 is acceleration. Stage 5 is freedom, where work becomes a choice, not a requirement. Here's the part nobody tells you. Most Americans never see Stage 4. Not because they don't earn enough. Diana earns plenty. They get stuck at Stage 3. Stuck so comfortably, so quietly that most of them stay there for the rest of their lives. This video is the map out, and the exit door is smaller than you think. Run the numbers on America and the 5 stages stop being a metaphor. Roughly 1 in 4 U.S. households now lives paycheck to paycheck. That's Stage 1. 43% of Americans couldn't cover a $1,000 emergency from savings this year. Fewer than 3% of retirement savers ever reach $1 million, according to Federal Reserve data. And here's the strangest stat of all. 4 in 10 workers earning over $100,000 still report living paycheck to paycheck. 6 figures in, nothing left at month's end. That's not a Stage 1 problem. That's a Stage 3 problem wearing a nice blazer. The stages aren't about income. A $54,000 teacher can reach Stage 5. A $200,000 surgeon can die at Stage 3. The data proves both happen constantly. So what actually separates the people who move from the people who stall? It isn't discipline. It isn't intelligence. It isn't even the size of the paycheck. It's whether you know which stage you're in and what that stage's one job is. Each stage has exactly one job. Do the wrong job and you stay put. Most people at Stage 3 are still doing Stage 1 jobs with Stage 3 money. That single sentence explains more American money failure than any other sentence I know. Here's what the data shows, stage by stage, dollar by dollar, starting at the bottom. Let's meet 3 people standing on 3 different steps of the same staircase. Maya is 28. She makes $41,000 a year at a dental office. Her checking account on the day before payday, $11.40. A coworker keeps telling Maya to just buy crypto. You can't invest $11.40. 1 flat tire, 1 root canal, 1 bad week, and Maya's month collapses into a credit card. Maya is in Stage 1, survival. Roughly a quarter of American households share that step with her. Diana, you already met. $58,000 a year, 11 years into her career. She has $19,000 in a 401k and a $430 car payment. Every raise she's earned since 26, about $14,000 worth, has been absorbed. Bigger apartment, newer car, better vacations, nicer groceries. Nothing reckless, nothing saved either. Diana is in Stage 3, comfort. It looks like winning and behaves like quicksand. Carla is 32. She makes $67,000 managing a medical supply warehouse. Same city as Diana, same childhood zip code, started with the same $11 checking account. But Carla crossed $104,000 invested this spring. Carla just entered Stage 4, the stage where the market's contribution starts rivaling her own. Last month, Diana and Carla split a lunch bill and laughed about college. The gap stayed invisible. Carla's best friend from college, same graduating class, same starting salary, still calls her lucky. Luck is one word for it. A spreadsheet is another. 3 people, 1 staircase. 10 years from now, only 1 gap will be unrecognizable. Where does America actually sit on this staircase? The distribution should unsettle you. Roughly a quarter of households live on Step 1. Call it 33 million homes. Most of the rest cluster on Steps 2 and 3 and never leave. Fidelity tracks 25 million 401k accounts. The average saver doesn't cross 100,000 until their early 40s. And fewer than 5% of those accounts ever touch 7 figures. Now let's define the steps precisely, because vague stages help nobody. Stage 1, survival. No buffer at all. Every surprise bill becomes somebody else's loan. Your entire financial life happens inside the next 14 days. Stage 2, stability. $1,000 saved, then 1 month of expenses, then 3. High-interest debt is shrinking every single month instead of growing. Stage 3, comfort. Steady income, automatic 401k contributions, somewhere between $10,000 and $90,000 invested. The bills are paid, the card gets cleared, the vacation gets booked. Stage 4, acceleration. $100,000 or more invested in compounding. At 7%, that pile now adds $7,000 a year without your permission. Stage 5, freedom. Investments equal 25 times your annual spending. At that line, a 4% withdrawal covers your life. Work becomes optional forever. Notice what's missing from every definition: your salary. The stages don't care what you earn. They care what you keep and what the kept dollars are doing while you sleep. John's father learned this the long way, and he never stops telling people about it. He worked 31 years at a printing plant, never earned more than $49,000. But he retired at 63 with $610,000, mortgage-free. His secret wasn't income. He simply knew which stage he was in and did that stage's one job. Meanwhile, John once watched a coworker earning $95,000 get denied for a $500 furniture loan. Stage 1 and Stage 5 don't look the way movies tell you they look. So here's the question that actually matters. What is your stage's one job? And why does the machine jam so reliably at Stage 3? Every stage gets its own math, its own trap, and its own exit door. Starting now. Here's what nobody tells you about Stage 1. Being broke is the most expensive thing in America. Maya paid $380 in overdraft fees last year alone. $35 each time her balance dipped below zero for even an hour. Add a $200 payday loan fee and a $90 late charge on her credit card. That's $670 a year, a tax for having no cushion. Stage 1 has exactly one job, and it is not investing. It's building the $1,000 wall. $1,000 turns most routine emergencies, tires, copays, repairs, back into inconveniences. Maya walked into her bank on a Tuesday and opened a separate savings account. The teller set up an automatic transfer. $25 every Friday moved before Maya wakes up. The teller smiled. Maya's was the fourth automatic transfer set up that morning alone. The wall is catching on. $25 a week feels like nothing. It's $1,300 a year. 10 months later, Maya's wall stood at $1,040. Then her alternator died. $460. Paid in cash, zero new debt. Read that again. The emergency still happened. The disaster didn't. That's the entire difference between Stage 1 and Stage 2. The surprise stopped compounding against her. Most people fail Stage 1 because they try to do Stage 3 jobs first. They open investment apps with $40 while carrying 29% credit card debt. 29% guaranteed loss beats any market gain you will ever find. Kill the debt fire first. The exit test for Stage 1 is simple. $1,000, untouched, in a separate account. If you're there right now, that number is your entire job. Nothing else exists yet. And notice what Maya didn't do. She didn't get a raise. She didn't win anything. Same $41,000 salary. She just gave $25 a week a different address. Here's what actually happens in Stage 2. Almost nothing. And that's exactly the point. Stage 2 is the boring middle. No dramatic wins. Just a debt going down and a number going up. The job now is two-sided. 3 months of expenses saved, high-interest debt at zero. For Maya, 3 months of life costs about $7,800. Her credit card balance, $4,200 at 29%, dies first. Every $100 she throws at that card earns a guaranteed 29%. No stock does that reliably. One exception, and it's a big one. The employer match. Maya's office matches 401k contributions, 50 cents per dollar, up to 6% of salary. That's an instant 50% return, the single highest yielding dollar in American finance. So the Stage 2 order is match first, then the 29% fire, then the 3-month wall. 18 months of this and Maya's net worth crossed zero for the first time in her adult life. An older coworker shook his head at her. A savings account? We bought houses at your age. Maya just smiled and kept stacking months. Different decade, different math, same principle underneath. Negative to zero feels like nothing on paper. It's actually the biggest single leap on the staircase. The danger in Stage 2 isn't a crash, it's boredom. This is where people quit, because progress is real but invisible. Nobody posts a photo of a paid-off visa. There's no keys-in-hand moment for an emergency fund. The exit test, 3 months banked, no debt above 7% interest remaining. Pass that test, and you enter the most dangerous stage of all, the one that feels like victory. Here's the trap nobody warns you about. Stage 3 doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like arriving. The scary debts are gone. The balance finally has a comma. Diana hit Stage 3 at 29. She celebrated, and then the machine quietly jammed. Watch how it happened, because it will try the same move on you. At 30, Diana got a $4,000 raise. The salesman got most of it. He leaned across the hood of a newer SUV and said the monthly payment was basically the same. It was $140 more. Times 72 months, $10,080. The salesman, for the record, cleared a $2,000 commission on Diana's basically the same payment. At 32, another raise. $3,200. The apartment upgrade took that one. At 33, her friend flew to Portugal and Diana followed. There went $2,800. The same week, Diana's friend financed his third $1,500 phone in 4 years. None of these were dumb decisions. Everyone was affordable. That's what makes stage 3 lethal. Lifestyle inflation never announces itself. It arrives dressed as things you've earned. Run the numbers on Diana's decade and the pattern turns brutal. Since 26, her income rose $14,000. Her monthly investing rose $40. Her savings rate at 26, 5%. Her savings rate at 34, 5%. Same rate, higher bills. That is the exact mechanism that freezes people for decades. It's why 4 in 10 American workers earning 6 figures still live paycheck to paycheck. Comfort scales infinitely. There is always a next car, next kitchen, next zip code. Your income can never outrun a lifestyle that grows at the same speed. And here's the psychological kicker. At stage 3, everyone around you approves. Your parents relax. Your friends see the SUV. Your boss sees the promotion. Every social signal says finished, while the compounding math says barely started. John's father has a name for stage 3 from his plant days. Golden handcuffs, self-installed. Nobody applauds a savings rate. So the one number that decides everything goes unwatched. Stage 3 has one job, raise the rate, not the lifestyle. The cleanest tool ever invented for this is the 50% rule. Every raise, every bonus, every windfall, half is yours to enjoy, guilt-free. The other half goes to investments before it ever touches your checking account. You still feel every raise, your lifestyle still improves, but the rate climbs anyway. John sat down with Diana in March and rebuilt her last decade on one sheet of paper. Path 1, her real path, 5% saved, about $450,000 at 65. Sounds fine, until you subtract 30 years of inflation and add 30 years of rent. Path 2, same job, same raises, but half of every future raise gets invested. Assume nothing heroic. Ordinary 3% annual raises, ordinary 7% market returns. Path 2 ends north of $1.3 million. Same job, same city, same woman. The gap between those two Dianas is roughly $900,000. And the only difference between them is what happened in the first week after each raise. Diana stared at the sheet for a long time. Then she asked the right question. Not, how do I earn more? But why didn't anyone show me this at 29? The exit test for stage 3. Your savings rate hits 20% and rises with every raise. Miss that test and stage 3 isn't a stage, it's a residence. Now, the deep math? Because stage 3's endlessness isn't in your head, it's in the arithmetic. Charlie Munger famously said the first $100,000 is the hardest and the most important. Here's exactly how right he was. Take $10,000 invested per year at 7%. Your first $100,000 takes 7.8 years, nearly a decade of grinding. The second $100,000 takes 5.1 years. The third, 3.8. The fourth takes 3 years. The fifth, 2.5. The machine keeps tightening. By the time you're near $1 million, each new 100,000 arrives in about 14 months. Same saver, same deposits, same market. The machine just runs faster the longer it runs. Why? Because at 100,000 invested, a 7% year hands you $7,000. That's 70% of your annual deposit, earned by money you already made. At 400,000, the market's contribution is 28,000, nearly triple your own. Compounding isn't a curve on a chart. It's a coworker who slowly takes over your job. But flip that logic backward and you see the trap in full. During the first 7.8 years, your money contributes almost nothing visible. You do all the lifting, the balance crawls, and life keeps offering better uses for the cash. Carla remembers year 4 vividly. Balance, 38,000. Feeling, why am I even doing this? Maya is in that exact stretch right now, which is why she automated everything and looked away. Even John's father nearly quit in year 6, when the plant cut overtime for 18 months. This is precisely where stage 3 parks people, in the slow, thankless, invisible stretch. Most people quit the machine in year 4, the exact worst moment to quit. They quit standing closer to the flywheel than they will ever know. Fidelity's data on 25 million accounts shows the average American crosses 100,000 in their early 40s. Not because the math demands it, but because their 20s and 30s fed stage 3 instead. Start the same deposits at 25 instead of 40, and retirement roughly doubles. That's the whole game. Time in the machine beats money in the machine, every single time. If you recognized yourself in Diana, here's the 90-day escape, step by step. Days 1 through 7, find your real savings rate. Most people have never once calculated it. Total invested per month, divided by gross monthly income. Write the number down. Diana's number was 5.2%. It didn't shame her. It oriented her. Days 8 through 30. Hunt the silent leaks before touching the visible ones. The average American guesses they spend about $86 a month on subscriptions. The measured reality in one industry study, $219, a $130 blind spot. Diana found $164 of monthly subscriptions she couldn't remember choosing. Her bank teller flagged the easiest one, 2 overlapping streaming bundles, $19 monthly since 2023. That's $1,968 a year, redirected with zero lifestyle pain. Days 31 through 60 set the 2 big caps that decide everything else. Housing under 30% of gross income, all vehicles combined under 10%. Blow those 2 caps and no coupon on earth can rescue your rate. Days 61 through 90. Automate the escalation so future you can't renegotiate. 1% rate increase now, and an automatic 1% more every January. Most 401k plans have an auto-escalation button. Almost nobody presses it. 90 days, 4 moves, no side hustle required. Diana's rate went from 5 to 11%. Next year, it climbs to 12 on its own. The machine now argues on her behalf. So how did Carla, same zip code, similar salary, as reach stage 4 by 32? Most people assume a secret. Crypto, an inheritance, a side hustle empire. There wasn't one. Carla's entire system fits on an index card and none of it is clever. She invests 24% of gross income automatically on the first of every month. All of it goes into 3 boring, diversified index funds costing under 0.1%. When her raises came, half of each one silently raised the transfer amount. That's it. That's the machine. 11 years of it produced $104,000. Now stage 4 begins and the job changes completely. Stop lifting, start guarding. In stage 4, your greatest enemy is no longer spending, it's interference. Interference enemy number 1, panic. In 2022, Carla's balance dropped $19,000. Her millennial friend texted, "Sell everything, it's going to 0. He sold. She bought. His loss became permanent the moment he clicked. Hers reversed within 18 months. Miss just the 10 best market days in 20 years, and your total return roughly halves. And the best days cluster suspiciously close to the worst ones. Sellers miss both. Interference enemy number 2 wears a suit and charges 1%. A financial advisor pitched Carla a managed portfolio, only 1% per year. 1% of assets every year for 35 years compounds into a monster. On her trajectory, that single fee would cost roughly $300,000 by retirement. Carla thanked him, kept her 0.04% index fund, and left. Interference enemy number 3 is the oldest one. Stage 3 calling you back. The salesman called Carla twice that spring about a well-deserved upgrade. She let it ring. The bigger the balance grows, the louder the voice saying you've earned a splurge. Stage 4's exit test isn't a number you hit. It's a decade you survive without touching the machine. Stage 5 isn't what television taught you. Let's look at what it actually costs. The math? 25 times your annual spending invested. That's the freedom line. Spend $40,000 a year and $1 million sets you free. Spend $60,000 and the line moves to $1.5 million. Notice the lever. Spending sets the price of your freedom, not income. Spending. This is why lean livers on modest salaries routinely beat big earners to stage 5. John's father crossed the line at 63 with $610,000 and a paid-off house. At 4%, his portfolio pays $24,000 a year. Social Security adds 22 more. $46,000 a year, no mortgage, no boss, no alarm clock, on a printer's salary. His neighbors still assume he's broke. He drives a 12-year-old pickup and grins at gas prices. Freedom at stage 5 looks almost disappointingly ordinary. That's the secret nobody monetizes. He fishes on Tuesdays. He fixes his own fence. He says no to things. That's the yacht. And Carla, on her current savings rate, she crosses the line at 51. 16 years earlier than the system ever planned for her. Stage 5's only job is the strangest one, learning to spend again. After decades of building, most people who reach it struggle to turn the machine off. A problem? Yes. But it's the one problem on this entire staircase worth having. Now for the part that should genuinely unsettle you, because the twist inverts everything. The people who get stuck at stage 3 are not America's financial failures. They're the responsible ones, the bill payers, the credit score checkers, the promotion earners. Reckless people crash back to stage 1, and crashes at least force a reckoning. But responsible people plateau, and a plateau never triggers an alarm. Here's the sentence to write down. Most people don't fail at money. They succeed just enough to stop. Think about what stage 3 actually is. Proof the machine was working. Diana built a buffer, killed her card debt, started a 401k. The system worked. Then the reward for working the system. Comfort. Quietly switch the system off. Poverty never fooled anyone into thinking they were finished. Comfort does it daily. And the data backs the inversion all the way up the income ladder. Remember, 4 in 10 six-figure earners, paycheck to paycheck. A third of $200,000 households, same story. More income didn't move them up a stage. It built a more expensive stage 3. Meanwhile, the printer's son watched a $49,000 salary reach stage 5. And Maya, 3 steps down, is currently moving faster than half the six-figure crowd above her. So audit yourself honestly right now using one question, and answer without flinching. When your income rose last time, did your investing rise by at least half as much? If yes, you're moving. Whatever your balance says, the staircase is under your feet. If no, you're standing still. And standing still in a rising cost country is walking backward. The 5 stages were never really about money. They're about which direction your autopilot points. Stage 3 is where autopilot points at the lifestyle. One switch redirects it at the machine. Flip it once, and the same paycheck that decorated your plateau starts building your exit. One more inversion before we close. Remember the 7.8-year grind to the first 100,000? Diana already did 4 of those years without knowing it. Her 19,000 is a foundation, not a failure. The plateau stole her momentum, not her progress. Those are different thefts, with different repairs. At 11% and climbing, Diana crosses $100,000 at 41. From there, the staircase steepens in her favor. 200 by 46, 400 by 53. The decade she called wasted turns out to be the price of admission, already paid. That's the twist inside the twist. It is never too late, but it is always later than comfort claims. So here's where we land, and it's simpler than the last half hour made it sound. Find your stage. Do that stage's one job. Ignore every job that belongs to a different stage. Stage 1, build the $1,000 wall. $25 a week counts. Stage 2, grab the match, kill the expensive debt, bank 3 months. Stage 3, raise the rate, not the lifestyle. Half of every raise, invested forever. Stage 4, guard the machine. No panic, no 1% fees, no relapse. Stage 5, spend it. You built the exit, walk through it. Maya has her wall, Diana has her escalator, Carla has her date 51. 3 different stages, 3 different jobs, 1 identical principle underneath. Your salary was never the ceiling. Your stage's unfinished job is. So, which stage are you in? Tell me in the comments. Not to be judged, genuinely, because the first step off any plateau is naming it out loud. And if this video showed you a staircase nobody drew for you before, subscribe to Wealth POV. We break down the hidden math behind the financial decisions you face every day. Because the most expensive stage of your life is the one you don't know you're standing in.